Did you know that Chicago lost over 81,000 residents in just the last few years? Or that taxpayers in Honolulu would need to pay $26.10 each just to bail out their city? What if I told you these economic disasters are just the tip of the iceberg? From pension crises to skyrocketing crime rates, these 10 American cities are on the verge of financial meltdown. And the worst part, millions of people are still living there, completely unaware of what's coming. Stay with me. 4 will absolutely shock you. Forget what you've heard about the great American comeback. While politicians brag about economic recovery, these 10 cities are silently imploding. The smart money's already leaving, and today I'm showing you exactly why and where you should be planning your escape while there's still time. Portland is drowning in $5,200,000,000, 0 cents of debt, earning an F grade in fiscal health, according to Truth in Accounting's latest report. The city's pension system is a ticking time bomb. They've set aside just 44 cents for every dollar promised to retirees. This massive shortfall means Portland's financial obligations are growing faster than its ability to pay them, creating a mathematical certainty of fiscal collapse. Without dramatic intervention, downtown Portland, once celebrated as America's most livable city, has transformed dramatically in just a few years. Entire blocks of boarded-up businesses create an apocalyptic feel in the city center. The city that prided itself on progressive values now struggles to provide basic services. Police response times for non-emergency calls can stretch to hours or even days. Parks Department budgets have been slashed, leaving public spaces unmaintained and increasingly dangerous. Meanwhile, property taxes continue climbing to cover the growing debt, creating a perfect storm. Paying more for deteriorating services, the Portland Public School system, once among Oregon's best, now faces classroom overcrowding, teacher shortages, and facilities literally crumbling due to deferred maintenance. Former Portlanders are finding refuge in fiscally responsible cities across the Northwest. Boise, Idaho has become a popular destination with its lower taxes, business-friendly policies, and dramatically lower crime rates. Others are relocating to growing Colorado communities like Fort Collins and Colorado Springs, where outdoor lifestyle remains accessible without Portland's urban dysfunction. Even smaller Oregon communities like Bend, Eugene, and Salem are benefiting from Portland's exodus, as residents seek to remain in state while escaping the metro area's fiscal collapse. If you own property in Portland, real estate experts warn that selling now might be your last chance before values plummet further as the exodus accelerates. Honolulu, Hawaii, paradise lost under crushing debt. Living in paradise comes at an extreme cost. Honolulu has the highest per taxpayer burden in America at a staggering $26,100, 0 cents per resident. Despite its picture-perfect beaches, this island paradise finished last year with a $3,300,000,000, 0 cents deficit that continues to grow. Warning signs: Hawaii's capital is quietly crumbling beneath the surface. Infrastructure is failing, public services are being slashed, and the cost of living has skyrocketed so high that locals call it paradise poverty. Even tourist areas are suffering as the city can't afford basic maintenance. Escape plan? Residents who've done the math are choosing more affordable island living in places like Puerto Rico and the U.S. Virgin Islands, where the beaches are just as beautiful, but your savings won't evaporate. Others are heading to coastal communities in Florida and the Carolinas, where property taxes are a fraction of Honolulu's. New Orleans ranks near rock bottom for financial health, 71st out of 75 major cities studied. City officials have consistently underfunded pension obligations and backed out of healthcare promises to retirees, creating a financial house of cards. Warning signs: beyond the tourist-filled French Quarter lies a city in serious trouble. Infrastructure is failing after each new storm. Crime has surged to frightening levels, and the city can't even afford to fix basic services like water and sewage systems that regularly fail. Escape plan: former residents are finding new homes in other southern cities with similar cultural vibes but stronger financial foundations. Places like Savannah, Georgia, and Charleston, South Carolina offer historic charm without the looming fiscal collapse. Some have moved just outside the city limits to smaller communities where taxes are lower, but they can still enjoy New Orleans when they choose. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, city of brotherly depth. Financial crisis point. Philadelphia is buried under nearly $12 billion 0 cents in debt. To balance the city's books, each taxpayer would need to fork over $21,800 0 cents. An impossible sum that shows just how dire the situation has become. Warning signs. The cradle of American democracy is struggling to provide basic services. Police response times have increased dramatically. Potholes go unfilled for years, and public schools are failing. Meanwhile, businesses continue to relocate to neighboring states with friendlier tax policies. Escape plan. The exodus to Pennsylvania suburbs and nearby New Jersey towns is already underway, where property values remain stable and taxes are more reasonable. Others are heading south to growing cities in the Carolinas and Georgia, where economic opportunities are expanding rather than contracting. St. Louis, Missouri, to gateway to fiscal disaster, financial crisis point. St. Louis faces a staggering $654,500,000 0 cents in unbudgeted healthcare retirement costs for city workers alone. This massive liability could trigger municipal bankruptcy within years if not addressed. Warning signs. Once a proud Midwestern hub, St. Louis consistently ranks among America's most dangerous cities, with violent crime rates driving a mass exodus. Abandoned neighborhoods, closed schools, and deteriorating infrastructure paint a bleak picture of urban decline. Escape plan. Former residents are finding new beginnings in growing Midwestern cities like Indianapolis, Nashville, and Kansas City, where crime rates are lower and economic opportunities are expanding. Those who loved St. Louis's affordability are discovering similarly priced housing in cities with much stronger financial futures. Baltimore, Maryland, from industrial powerhouse to urban collapse. Financial crisis point. Baltimore is experiencing financial freefall as its tax base erodes and expenses mount. Major employers have fled, taking thousands of jobs and millions in tax revenue with them. Warning signs. Crime rates have soared to 4 times the national average, making Baltimore more dangerous than Detroit or Memphis. The city's education system is in crisis, with some schools reporting graduates who still struggle with basic reading, while infrastructure has deteriorated to what observers describe as post-apocalyptic conditions. Escape plan. Those who've escaped Baltimore's decline are finding new opportunities in Virginia's growing communities, Philadelphia's suburbs, and even smaller Maryland towns, where public safety and quality of life remain high priorities. Real estate investors have already written off large swaths of the city, suggesting property values may never recover in certain neighborhoods. San Francisco, California, tech wealth amid urban decay. Financial crisis point. Despite generating enormous wealth, San Francisco's financial future is precarious. The city has lost over 70,000 residents since 2020, eroding its tax base while obligations continue to grow. Warning signs. The city by the bay has become almost uninhabitable for anyone not earning tech salaries. Average home prices hover around $1,300,000 0 cents, while even a basic one-bedroom apartment commands $3,700 0 cents monthly. Meanwhile, over 11 car break-ins were reported in a single year as property crime has exploded. Escape plan. Tech workers are leading the exodus, relocating to more affordable innovation hubs like Austin, Denver, and Raleigh, where their salaries go further and quality of life is higher. Others are finding balance in smaller California communities within commuting distance, where they can access the Bay Area's opportunities without its astronomical costs and urban problems. Detroit, Michigan, decades of decline reaching critical mass. Financial crisis point. Detroit's financial situation has moved from chronic to critical. After losing 1.2 million residents since its peak, including 40,000 more between 2020-2023, the tax base has collapsed while infrastructure needs remain enormous. Warning signs. The average household income in Detroit is just $36,000 0 cents, half the national average. Crime rates stand at 4 times the national average, creating a vicious cycle that drives further population loss. Despite some downtown investment, most neighborhoods continue to deteriorate with abandoned homes, broken streetlights, and crumbling roads. Escape plan. Former Detroit residents are finding fresh starts in growing Midwestern cities like Columbus, Indianapolis, and Grand Rapids, where manufacturing is making a comeback, but quality of life remains affordable. Others have relocated to southern states where economic opportunities, lower costs, and better weather create compelling alternatives. New York City, financial capital, facing financial ruin, financial crisis point. The world's financial capital has received an F grade in fiscal health. Despite imposing the highest tax burden in the nation, New York still cannot meet its financial obligations due to massive unfunded retirement programs and fiscally irresponsible policies. Warning signs: the Big Apple is rotting from within. Housing costs have become so astronomical that essential workers can't afford to live in the city they serve. Crime has surged on public transportation and informally safe neighborhoods. Meanwhile, major corporations are relocating headquarters to tax-friendly states like Florida and Texas. Escape plan. New Yorkers are fleeing in record numbers to growing cities in Florida, Texas, and North Carolina, where there's no state income tax and housing costs a fraction of NYC prices. Others are choosing nearby Connecticut and New Jersey suburbs, where they can maintain connections to the city while escaping its fiscal chaos and declining quality of life. Chicago, Illinois is the epicenters of America's urban crisis, the financial crisis point. Chicago represents the ultimate urban economic nightmare. It's the second most indebted city in America, with a pension system funded at just 25 cents on the dollar. This massive shortfall has created crushing tax burdens that accelerate population loss in a devastating downward spiral. Warning signs: the Windy City has lost over 81,000 residents since 2020 alone. Major corporations, including Boeing, Caterpillar, and Tyson Foods, have abandoned their headquarters for more stable locations. Crime has become a daily fear, even in previously safe neighborhoods, while small businesses are shuttering at alarming rates. Escape plan. Chicago's former residents are rebuilding their lives in fiscally stable cities across the Midwest and South. Places like Nashville, Indianapolis, and even smaller Illinois communities outside Chicago's tax jurisdiction offer similar amenities without the financial doomsday scenario. Real estate experts warn that Chicago property values in certain neighborhoods may never recover, making immediate relocation the only logical choice for homeowners who want to preserve their equity. Still think your city is immune to economic collapse? These 10 urban disaster zones weren't created overnight. They're the result of decades of fiscal mismanagement, population exodus, and governance failure that could be happening in your city right now. Drop a comment with which city shocked you most. Hit like if you're considering relocation, and subscribe for more critical financial insights that mainstream media won't tell you. Next week, we'll reveal the 10 booming American cities where your money will actually grow instead of disappearing into municipal black holes. Click here to make sure you don't miss it.